Hello YouTubers, Jordan Blakey the Liver Flesh Man here today with video 9 of 1,000 videos in 3 years. This is video 9 and this one is on liver disease is a progressive disease. So I'm going to take you through the stages of liver disease from a healthy liver to the most unhealthy liver, which is liver cancer and liver failure. And I'm going to take you through the different progressions, what they are, the definition of them, some traits and characteristics of the different diagnoses, as well as what you can do to prevent it or to reverse some of these liver diseases. So the liver starts off healthy liver, right? At least 95% of the population, they start off with a healthy liver when they're born. And through unhealthy diet, through excess over a long period of time, that includes junk food, deep fried food, preservatives, chemicals, hormones, additives, sugar, free radicals of all kinds, any kind of junk food and deep fried food, trans fatty acids. Over a long period of time in excess, this degenerates the liver and can bring on the progression of liver disease. So what happens is through unhealthy diet, you can develop fatty liver disease, the first stage of liver disease, or hepatitis A, B, or C. I'm going to go through those. So with fatty liver disease, there's two kinds of fatty liver disease. There's alcoholic fatty liver disease, which is called AFLD, alcoholic fatty liver disease, and non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, NAFLD, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. The non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, as you can probably figure out just by the name of it, is created through an unhealthy diet which is not related to alcohol consumption. An alcoholic fatty liver disease is mostly due through excess alcohol, especially hard alcohols with a higher percentage of alcohol. This is very damaging to the liver. If you do drink a lot of alcohol, one of the very important liver herbs to take is milk thistle, because milk thistle regenerates, rejuvenates, repairs, and restores damaged liver cells through alcoholic fatty liver disease or any kind of liver disease. This is a very, very important herb, as well as burdock root and dandelion greens, or dandelion. All parts of the dandelion are healing for the liver. These are the three most popular widespread herbs for the liver, but milk thistle is number one. So get yourself some milk thistle supplements and take one every day. All right. With fatty liver disease is diagnosed when over 10% of the liver is diagnosed with fat cells. So if 10% of the liver is comprised of fat cells or more, then the liver is considered a fatty liver. Where it enlarges, it's a fatty liver. It enlarges, and when it enlarges, inflames, and swells like that, that causes eventually scar tissue to form, which is fibrosis of the liver. Now this swelling, this constant swelling, is very much just connected to hepatitis A, B, and C. Hepatitis, by definition, is inflammation of the liver. So when the inflammation of the liver, it's always inflaming, enlarging and shrinking, enlarging and shrinking, this causes more scar tissue to build up. Now once there's scar tissue on the liver, you have fibrosis of the liver of the early stages. There's 6 stages of fibrosis of the liver, 6 being the most severe with the most scar tissue on the liver. So to the degree that you have scar tissue on the liver is to the degree of fibrosis of the liver. Now fibrosis of the liver, being scar tissue, can also be reversed by 4 natural ingredients: lemon juice, aloe vera juice, kombucha mushroom tea, as well as apple cider vinegar. This dissolves liver stones, gallstones, and kidney stones, and any other stones of the various organs. As well, it dissolves sticky bloods, gets rid of sticky blood, as well as any dead degenerative blood cells in the body and the arterial walls. This also dissolves the scar tissue in fibrosis and cirrhosis of the liver patients. This reverses and starts to dissolve that scar tissue. Many healing powers of those 4 ingredients: lemon juice, apple cider vinegar, kombucha mushroom tea, and aloe vera juice. Now, There's an enzyme called the serrapeptase enzyme from the silkworm, from the intestines of the silkworm, which is also really good for all of those things as well, for dissolving liver stones and gallstones, for dissolving scar tissue in the fibrosis and cirrhosis patients, as well as dissolving sticky blood and degenerative blood cells in the arterial walls if you have a heart condition, like you've had a stroke or you've had a heart attack or you're subject to possibly getting one. Check it out. The serrapeptase digestive enzyme video will be up top there. Check out that video. Get yourself some serrapeptase. I'll tell you a little bit about that product. The product is an enzyme from the silkworm. Now, when the silkworm makes its cocoon with little tiny threads, thread per thread, the silk of a silkworm cocoon is 10 times stronger than steel, or more than that. Thread per thread, it's very, very strong. So that's why it supports it during the cocoon stage of its life and keeps it away from the elements and different things, and it's connected to a leaf or a stem, and that is very strong threads of the silkworm, of the silk. So when it needs to get out of its cocoon, it secretes that digestive enzyme and burns a hole through the cocoon. Now, that was by a scientist that did develop serrapeptase. He found that was able to dissolve the scar tissue in liver cirrhosis patients, as well as sticky blood in people on blood thinners. It was a natural alternative to blood thinners. Check out, do more research on the product. It's a really awesome product using nature. And then, so we've gone through fatty liver disease, both alcoholic and non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, where over 10% of the liver tissue is comprised of fat cells. Then we got hepatitis A, B, and C, inflammation of the liver. Then we got fibrosis of the liver with 6 stages. After fibrosis is cirrhosis of the liver. Now, cirrhosis of the liver is the 9th leading cause of death in the U.S. among all deaths of all kind, not just health-related deaths. Of every kind of death, it's the 9th leading cause of death. So it's very important that we have healthy livers and that we have a raw food diet rich in raw foods. All right, we want to uptake our raw foods and get rid of our deep fried foods and junk foods when you're in the healing process of reversing your liver disease. All right, moderation with everything, but when you've built up a life of all these toxins and your liver has degenerated, it's important that you do the raw food diet and then you get on coffee enemas and the liver and gallbladder flushes. Now, I'm just going to briefly touch on coffee enemas. They are a very powerful liver detox in and of themselves. There is an institute called the Gerson therapy, which have been using it for a really long time to treat cancer as a natural alternative cancer treatment, because it's so powerful acting on the liver that in myself, including others, have released hundreds of liver and gallstones with just the coffee enema, which proves that that liver and gallstones from the liver and gallbladder flush, when you take the lemon, olive oil, and Epsom salts, or if you're doing the niacin and coffee enema too, none of which have green pigments in the coffee and producing the green stones. So the coffee enema proves that the stones are not made up from the olive oil, lemon juice, or Epsom salts in the coffee enema. It's a very powerful liver detox. It dumps many, many toxins and flushes the body, and your skin gets clear, and there's many health benefits. Alright, so I can't stress enough about the coffee enema and that you should really use it in your liver flush protocol. Now, if you combine fasting with the coffee enema, you do 2, 3, 4, 5 days of master cleanse fasting, which is maple syrup, cayenne pepper, lemon water, and lemon juice and water, and you sustain enough to sustain yourself, and then you do a series of coffee enemas, your chances of getting stones out are much more increased by combining fasting with coffee enemas. And then the liver and gallbladder flush is the #1 liver disease treatment of all time. Flushing old toxic stones that have been in your liver for many, many years is one of the most natural ways to rejuvenate the liver and restore it and repair it and rejuvenate the cells in the liver so that you can get optimal function of the liver. So after fibrosis of the liver of the late stages 4, 5, and 6, then comes cirrhosis of the liver, the 9th leading cause of death in the US. And just so you know, fatty liver disease is estimated to be in 1 in 2 people. So the mainstream medical profession doesn't really do much if you have a fatty liver. They may take ultrasounds of it to see if you have stones, but the truth is that ultrasounds don't show stones that are not calcified, and most people have non-calcified stones in their liver and gallbladder, thousands of them congested by the age of 25 or 30. There's already so much congestion in the liver from the foods we eat and then from the modern world, and so it is more imperative and important that we do regular liver and gallbladder flushes to flush out these excess toxic waste where the body didn't know where to put the toxins. They came in, so it stored them in the form of these stones, and by flushing them out, that is one of the most natural anti-cancer treatment flushes there is. The liver detoxifies the body and purifies the blood. The liver is the largest internal organ with thousands of functions and hundreds that are vital. You cannot live without a liver, and the liver is like the engine of a car. It's the main component to your body and the functioning of all the organs. So very, very important to have a healthy liver. So if you have cirrhosis of the liver, you're going to want to take the regular lemon juice. I'll buy some aloe vera juice from the health food store. Get some kombucha mushroom tea from the health food store, and also apple cider vinegar. And then you're going to want to get the serrapeptase digestive enzyme. And then you're also going to want to do castor oil packs. The castor oil pack is really easy to do. You place castor oil over a cotton cloth, place that over your liver. It's all smeared in, soaked in. Right over your liver is the right side of your body, the lower rib cage. Then take kitchen plastic wrap, place that around the compress, and then place a hot water bottle over that to allow the absorption of the castor oil and start the healing process of the reversal of your liver disease and start the reversal of the scar tissue in the liver. And so with cirrhosis of the liver, there's 6 stages of cirrhosis of the liver, and that is to the degree that the scar tissue, once you're diagnosed with cirrhosis of the liver, then over 50% or more of the liver has a lot of lesions and scar tissue on it. Now, to the degree that the scar tissue has happened around the hepatic portal vein, which connects the liver to the heart, is to the degree that you have cirrhosis of the liver, depending if you're on stage 1 to 6, because that is the main blood flow which connects the liver to the heart. And because the liver is the purifier of the blood, if it's not doing its job, that blood flow is very weak and it's very unhealthy, and there's a lot of bacteria and uric acid crystals and things like that in there that are causing the degeneration of the liver to come on even faster, because the liver is a degenerative, progressive disease of degeneration. As it gets further into cirrhosis of the liver, then that can bring on the further stages of liver disease, liver necrosis, liver cancer, and liver failure, because the blood is not able to purify. And then if you have cancer or get cancer, then those cancer cells also spread quickly because the blood is not purified, and it's an over-acidic body with an acidic blood, and that is going to cause the spread of the cancer cells to go much faster. So after cirrhosis, like I said, is necrosis, and that is not really reversible at that stage. It can be, but it depends on the person, and it really depends. You have to be looking at the long-term benefits of goals of doing regular coffee enemas, regular liver gallbladder flushes, eating a high percentage raw food diet all the time, with all the good ingredients in there, all the staples of the raw food diet. And same with cirrhosis of the late stages, 3 to 6 or 4 to 6. Those are much more irreversible than if you catch in the early stages 1, 2, and 3 of cirrhosis, where you can get rid of that, dissolve that scar tissue, regenerate the liver, and cause that liver tissue to go back to a more softer, healthier state, not hardened cirrhosis of the liver, or the degeneration of the liver causes these lobules to form and causing the tissue to become hardened, and which is not allowing the liver to function. The bile flow is lacking, and the blood flow to the heart is lacking. Now, the blood is processed about 3 times more blood is processed through the liver than the heart, and so that connection to the heart really determines, you know, your beat of life, the pulse of life to continue on. So if you have cirrhosis of the liver, I've told you some of the things you should do. You should really listen to this again, watch it again, write down those ingredients, and do the castor oil packs, do the coffee enemas, do some fasting, do a lot of raw foods, and take the apple cider vinegar, the lemon juice, aloe vera juice, and kombucha mushroom tea. All of these have been scientifically proven to potentially dissolve liver and gallstones when submerged directly in those ingredients. The stones produced from a liver and gallbladder flush dissolve quite quickly compared to controls like with water and other substances which did not dissolve them. So anyways, this video was about the progressive liver diseases. Now, after necrosis is liver cancer, and that is, you know, very hard to reverse because the liver, it's been so many years of building up a progressive liver disease and bringing in these toxins that it's not just so easy to reverse, even with liver and gallbladder flushes. You know, it's going to help, and you should do them because your life expectancy is going to be a lot longer if you do all the things that are going to help. But if you're in the late stages of cirrhosis or necrosis of the liver, liver cancer and liver failure, then you're really looking at trying to have a higher quality, longer life, with higher quality of life, and so that's what your options are with the liver disease. So hopefully you caught this in fatty liver disease or fibrosis of the liver disease, or at least in the early stages of cirrhosis of liver 1, 2, and 3, and you can begin the reversal process, and you can begin to get a healthy liver again and live a much higher quality, longer life. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, that is the video on progressive liver disease. I am Jordan Blakey, the Liver Flush Man. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.